Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Benedict Construction. If you are wanting to add on to your home or completely remodel your existing home, trust the group who built our set. They've done work on homes for people on this set as well, Mike Strange. I think they did work for you.
They do.
Benedict Construction, bcknoxville.com. All right, recruiting news is coming up next. Mr. Josh Ward will break down four guys to keep an eye on in the Vols recruiting class. We're also going to talk a little Jalen Hurd, Alvin Kamara. Really interesting number that might shock you in terms of what it takes to be an all-time great college football program. It's the last thing in our show, so you'll want to see it. It's a tease. But first, staff changes at Tennessee. 2 for 3 this week from the predictions last week. Not bad. I'll take that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the list. Offensive coordinator, he's still going to do tight ends. Larry Scott, promoted from on the staff. He's moving up. Mike Canales, as expected, was hired as your quarterback coach. They hired him from Utah State. He's worked with Larry Scott in the past. Defensive backs coach Charlton Warren. That one was out of left field. I had never heard his name before that. So kudos to Butch Jones on running a quiet search there. Hired from North Carolina, has a top 10 unit last year with North Carolina. Offensive line, questions remain regarding Don Mahoney. His contract's about to expire. He's still recruiting, but he's recruiting for the class of 2018. Rumors still out there about a possible retirement or move off field for Steve Stripling on the defensive line. And your strength and conditioning coach, Rock Gullickson, is already on the job over there. Early reports are good, but it's one weekend, so I don't think anybody's shocked by that. Guys, on what's been done and what still might be done, your thoughts? Positive so far? Could have done better? Where are we?
Go ahead, Mike. I'll just say, strictly based on interview and meeting these guys Friday, all three were impressive to talk to, which is one thing I have to go on. In researching Mike Canales' background, I found a lot real positive on him as a developer of quarterbacks, more so than his play calling when he was an offensive coordinator. So maybe if that's accurate, you feel better about him as quarterbacks coach instead of coordinator.
I like Canales, and I did not realize that 55 has become the new 85. 55 is not too old to be hired.
No.
So I like his resume. I like the resume of Charlton Warren. I had not heard of him either, John. I didn't know who that was. They hired him. I looked at his resume. We called Dave Nathan, who covers the ACC, and had a lot of great things to say about him. Actually works for North Carolina. Is Larry Scott going to be a great play caller? I don't know.
First time doing it.
Yeah, so we'll see. John Chavis. So why are you hiring John Chavis? Well, he turned out pretty good too. So there's a question mark about how well Scott will do. But let's give Butch Jones the benefit of the doubt in regard to what happened with Mike DeBoer, who I think was better than others.
He did better than a lot of people are willing to admit. There was a thing out there a couple weeks ago that if you're a good offensive coordinator, it wouldn't take you 10 years to rise to that job. Well, a couple of guys at UT took David Cutcliffe 11 years, and it took Philip Fulmer 16 years, and those guys turned out pretty good. So the fact that Larry Scott, it's taken him 10 years to become an offensive coordinator, I don't think you can automatically say, aha, he must not be any good. Guys, Chuck and Josh, your thoughts very quickly on what's gone on so far. Do you want to see more changes? Or are you worried a little bit that this could be Dooley-esque, like that last year where you're getting too many changes in 1 year? Thoughts?
If there are more changes, you might start to think, is there too much of a turnover here? You could ask that question for sure. I don't think Larry Scott's a sure thing moving to the offense coordinator position, but there wasn't a sure thing hire. Mark Helfrich would not have been a sure thing, and he would have been the biggest name on the board. Chris Weinke, if he had come in as the quarterbacks coach, big name, would it have been better than Mike Canales? Who knows? So I think it's something that can absolutely work out. It's very much to be determined.
Yeah, and you're going to be doing the recruiting segment. Look, this is also a whole lot about recruiting. Charlton Warren gets you in Atlanta. When I started looking at his background, and to me, that's huge. And the secondary, you about had to make a change, didn't you? Wasn't that like the biggest disappointment of the position?
I think that was the one. That was the one area where you had a bit more disconnect between Bob Shoop and the guys he inherited.
Yeah, I mean, so no, I like what you've seen so far, and I think there'll still be a couple more.
Okay. So we'll at least leave it at that then. We'll talk recruiting next with Josh Ward. We've still got Tennessee-Kentucky game plan. You want to stick around for this stat on all-time great football programs. Tennessee's one of them, but what does that really mean? We will open your eyes. Come on back on the Sports Source.